guys, how you doing today? I'll be doing a short review, kind of short, of the new Samsung A55. Oh, it's not even new anymore, right? It's already, I think, 1 month old. But as you can see, it's a really nice phone. It's, I think, one of the best mid-range phones Samsung ever made. In terms of design, camera, screen, and everything. It's just a good package for the price. Only in some countries, though. In some countries, it's just way too expensive and it's not worth it at all. But as you can see, it's a really nice feeling premium phone, actually. Some people might think this is the S23 or S24 because how Samsung has their crazy thing with design. They're all the same. But one thing that bothered me a bit was this effect that you have when you turn on the screens, like a rainbow effect, which only like lower quality OLED screens have. You see, when I turn the phone, you can see different colors. And the A54 didn't have this issue. So I think the screen, and I had the A54, the screen on the A55 is a little bit of a downgrade compared to the A54. But in general, the performance, however, is much better than the A54. When I had the A54, I used to have loads of hiccups sometimes because of the Exynos 1380. But now with the Exynos 1480, it's just so much better. It feels like, it almost feels like a flagship from Samsung from like 2020 or something. So much better. And the camera is amazing. As you can see, we have a 50 megapixels main camera, which is the same main camera as is present on the S23 and S24. So that's really nice. It has a ultra wide camera. It's not as nice as the S line, but it's still okay. It's 12 megapixels. And you have a 5 megapixels macro camera, but it's useless. As you can see, you have always on display, just like all smartphones nowadays with OLED screen. But now Samsung removed loads of features on their always on for all models, so that's really boring. As you can see, there's no many options anymore to customize, apart from good luck. But I don't like using good luck, so, But it's a nice phone, as you can see. It does all the basics very well, it's, how can I say, it's very solid. Here in my country, I'm in Brazil currently, and here this phone costs around $250 new, and it comes with a charger. So that's a really, really good deal. But I'm not so sure it's such a great deal if you have to pay more than that. But as you can see, look at the Geekbench scores. That's pretty good. If you compare to older phones, look at that. Look at the top of the line of Samsung. But as you can see, the older phones, this is like almost comparable to an S21, Galaxy S21 from like a few years ago. So that's pretty good, considering that's a mid-range phone, that you can find maybe for like $300. That's the most I would pay for it, $300. I think that's a good price. Because if you have to pay more, then you have other options like the Pixel 8A or the Pixel 7A, which are much better phones, especially in the USA. Or you have phones from like Honor, Xiaomi, Oppo, and whatever. But for $300, that's the best deal you can get. It's a really good phone. If you want a new phone, right? If you go for a used flagship, you're probably going to have a much better experience, but we are talking about new phones with warranty and everything and support. I think this phone is going to get like 5 years of support, which is really good considering, for $300, as you see, look, the screen is okay. If you're looking head on, you're not going to see much of the rainbow effect, so it looks great. This sound, actually, I can't post the sound here because of copyright, but the sound is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's actually a downgrade from the A54. Again, they chipped out on the screen and on the sound, but it's still good. It's a decent stereo sound. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's decent. The A54, to be honest, I think this should be called the A54S and not the A55 because there's no much difference between the models, right? The only main difference, actually, let's be honest, is the design that you get and the extra software updates. But look at the screen is great. It's sharp and it's great, everything. But it's just not the best OLED screen out there. And it's a little bit of a downgrade from the A54, I think. But it's still good. Some people might say, okay, that's the new FE because the S23 FE is a horrible deal. It's so expensive. The bezels are so huge and there's not many improvements on the camera. But actually, I don't think this is a replacement for the S23 FE. I think, in my opinion, the best mid-range phone Samsung ever made, the best deal for the price, the best fan edition was the S20 FE. That's still the best smartphone Samsung ever made. Even today, even running Android 13 is still a great phone. and it's actually better in some areas compared to the A55. Of course, you know, like performance is like par on par with the A55, I would say. The screen's a little bit of a downgrade, not too much, but the cameras are so much better on the S20 FE in general, because they're much more flexible cameras, and the sound is better as well and the charging on the S20 in general, right? That's not a replacement for the FE line, but it gets close. I think if Samsung next year does the A56, hopefully they fix this issue, the screen, and get us a better screen and a little slightly better sound, and this will be maybe the best. I think Samsung at this point should just end the FE line and should just add a telephoto camera instead of a macro camera on the A55 on the next year on the A56. That would be much better, and this could be the new FE model, right? Because the S24, let's be honest, between the S23 FE and the S24, there's no much difference. I mean, and that's not good because Samsung hasn't updated the S24 in a long time, and the S23 hardware, you know what I mean? But anyways, let me show you some pictures here that I took. Look at the level of the photos, look at the quality. I'm going to be really honest with you, like in terms of just main camera, right? Not everything else, just main camera. This is one of the best photos you can get from a smartphone at $300, okay? You look at that, that's portrait mode. The main camera, right? Even better than the FE line, the old FE line, the S20 FE. The main camera is really strong. Look at the portrait mode again. That's amazing. I did a comparison on my iPhone 13 Pro and the A55, and the A55 was trading blows with the iPhone. Keep an eye on that. I'm going to post it soon. But look at that. The camera is great. I think in general, let's finish this review. In general, this is a solid phone. For $250, even up to $300, it's still one of the best mid-range smartphones out there you can find for the price. You know, the battery is great. You know, it's much better than the S23 FE, which has a smaller battery. The screen is decent. It's not the best ones. At this price range, you can find better screens, but it's still decent. The sound is decent again, but the cameras are actually, I think the highlight of this phone is the cameras. The whole software experience, software updates from Samsung, you know. The charging is okay. It's not the best one, but it's very solid. There are worse phones out there. And in general, I think this is a really good package. And if you have an A52 or lower smartphone or older, right? But not if you have the A54. I don't think there's worth the upgrade, because you're only getting a slightly better design, and that's it, and a worse screen and a worse stereo speakers. So I don't really think it's worth it to upgrade from the A54. But if you never had an A phone, or if you need a new mid-range phone, then buy this, you know, for $250. If you can find it at a good deal, it's really worth it, to be honest. There's no competition. The only competition close by is the Pixel 7a, but not everyone likes the stock Android, and the 7a does charge really, really slow, you know, and the screen is not as nice as